Rush Duel is a fast-paced spin-off game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you can summon as many monsters as you want and draw up to 5 cards each turn. In this series, me and the TheDrAlex progress through each Rush Duel product release and build decks with whatever cards were available at that time. We have been drafting characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime and have exclusive access to those characters' boss monsters, and will continue to draft characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush series. Join us as we continue to battle it out in this series, Rush Duel Character Draft. The triple build pack, Godbreath Wing, was released June 24th, 2023, and contains support for 3 types: Worms, Winged Warriors, or Music Princesses, and introduces a new archetype, Harpies. Worms are a fusion-based archetype revolving around having field spells. Music Princesses now have fusion monsters and their own Wonder Fusion spell. And Harpies are a maximum archetype that can also swarm the board with powerful monsters. So this is the deck we're bringing to today's game. This is Worms, and we love Worms. We've always liked Worms ever since they first came out during the 7's era. Now we have this kind of fire worm variant, and specifically we have our new boss monster, Demolition Charge Dragon Dangerous Blastomer. So made using Blastomer and Demolition Soldier Helmet, we can destroy 1 face-up card on the field and 1 or 2 monsters on your opponent's field, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of cards destroyed. So we pop one of our cards and we can pop 2 of our opponent's cards. But there are ways to kind of circumvent this, such as the Demolition Shutter, which is if equipped only to a face-up worm-type monster. While the equipped monster is in attack position, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and if a card is in the field zone, which again, worms are all about their field cards, the equipped monster and this card cannot be destroyed by card effects, which means you can target this card or the monster it's equipped to, and then use that as your legal targeted for part of the effect, and then pop 2 cards without actually having to lose anything yourself. So our other new fusion monster is Demolition Charge Expert Warning Heavy Shock. Made using Toby's Shock and Helmet, we can add a level 8 or higher worm monster and or 1 fusion from our graveyard to our hand, then destroy 1 card on your field. So again, we can try and circumvent that with Shutter, but worst case scenario, we pop one of our cards, we can fusion summon this out, and then try and get the materials to maybe try and make Blast Hammer. So looking at the deck, we do have a new legend card, Phantasm Spiral Dragon, and despite saying dragon, this is clearly a worm. 2900 is pretty good, and it can be summoned off of Build Dragon, which is always worth it. We always like to have something massive to bring back, and we thought we'd try it out. So we're playing Shovelon just because it is half of one of our fusions, that being Worm Handtoolen. We've got 3 Toby Shock because it's again half of another fusion, that being Heavy Shock. We have the Princess Pylon because again it's also half of a fusion, and that one being Infinidream Constructor Worm Buildrum. Then we're on the 3 Build Dragon. This is because this card is still kind of built around quite a lot. A lot of cards in the Worm archetype work around this card, and it's still pretty good to bring back with Gantry Dragon. We can bring back Phantasm Spiral Dragon. We can also bring back some of the fusion materials we need for other cards. And then another new card that we've got, Constructor Sentry Dragline, says we can shuffle 3 worm monsters from our graveyard into the deck, especially on a level 8 worm type monster from your graveyard. And then if we summoned Build Dragon specifically by this effect, we can add a worm type monster with 0 defense from our graveyard to our hand, which again tries to facilitate the fusions. But also we could just bring back Build Dragon, bring back a Spiral Dragon, and we've got a massive board again. So the next boss monster is the Blast Hammer itself. So if a card is in your field zone, you can send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard, including a worm-type monster, destroy all face-up level 8 or lower monsters on your opponent's field, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of cards destroyed by this effect times 300. So 2500 is a decent beat stick monster. This effect probably won't come up that often, but when it does, it's a really good effect. It's just got quite a heavy cost. Next up, we have Kasetsu Baiton. So you can pay 500 life points to send the top card of a deck to the graveyard. Then if you send a worm monster to the graveyard by this effect, you can add Helmet or a level 8 worm type monster from your graveyard to your hand. So Helmet is kind of the glue that holds this deck together. It is the new half of the fusion for all of our fusion monsters, and it lets us get back fusion from our graveyard, which is really, really good. So being able to kind of get it back, or get back one of our level 8 monsters, such as Blast Hammer or Build Dragon, is really, really good. Next up we have Picklon. Again, it's good for filtering, as well as it's half of a fusion. That's kind of the thing. This is now a fusion deck. And then Helmet, which we talked about before, which can also get back field spells. Next up, we got the 3 copies of fusion, because this is a fusion deck, and we need fusion. Unfortunately, this archetype was not blessed with a 7's Wonder fusion for it, but we have to run fusion, so that's just kind of what we're doing. We've got Dark Hole, best spell legend in the game. So then we just have a bunch of consistency cards. We have the Demolition Shot we talked about before. Our field spell of choice is Peaks of Blistopia, because gaining 400 attack is a lot. That might be really hard to be outed. And then Magic Cylinder is the best trap in the game. The side deck, there isn't really much to talk about here. These are just very specific cards for very specific matchups. We're feeling pretty good about this deck. Basically, this deck aims to swarm the board with giant guys, make guys that are just really, really hard for our opponent out, and just kind of be annoying and being an immovable rock. So we'll see if we can't accomplish that in the games. Let's fire on in and see what Alex has got for us. Alright, so last week we had the Galaxy off, and I drew very, very well in one of those games and got the pop off. And then game 3, you cracked back and spanked me back with your... I mean, you mainly fusion summoned your spaceship and just kept getting advantage and just accruing it and accruing it and accruing it. But I really enjoyed last week's games. I don't know how you felt about it.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I think Dark Galaxy and Light Galaxy both are very interesting playstyles, and it's really cool to see them in the same game. Obviously, that's one of the drawbacks of Character Draft, right? Is that there are just some matchups we will just never see because you have them or I have them. But yeah. maybe we'll get a few more show matches going on in the future where we swap over. But for this week, we have a new product release. We have the Godbreath Wing Triple Build Pack, which interestingly introduces 3. It has support for 3 archetypes, one of which is new, 2 of which are kind of adding on to stuff that was already there. So the 3 being Harpy Ladies, which is our new one, good old winged beasts, Wind Warriors, and the Worms. Except for the Worms, it's like fire worms. It's like I don't know, they're taking it in a different flavor. The Wind Warrior stuff seems to be very fusion focused, which I don't remember if they had any fusions prior to this.
They didn't, but they did get a spell card that hinted at Wind Warrior fusions ages ago.
Well, now you have those fusions, and I've played a few games against the Wind Warriors, and if they get going, they get going. It's a bit scary. If they are able to succeed in summoning out their fusions. So I'm a little bit worried about that. And then obviously the Harpies. Again, Harpies can be very dominant, I think. Like, just looking at their cards, Elegant Egotist is a card that can really, like, snowball them into doing very well. If they get out the maximum, obviously that can be a problem. There's just a lot of things. To be fair, out of the 3, I think Worms looks the least interesting. The Worms kind of thing is like... get out the new fusion monster, and then the fusion monster just destroys cards. And it's like, that's fine. Like, that's not even bad, right? Because you can pop face-up monsters, face-down monsters, whatever you need, right? So it's good, but it's not very interesting. And I think maybe it's a little bit weaker as well than the other 2. But we'll have to see how it does, because Worms, in the past, have been a relatively solid deck. Not necessarily like a big tournament contender, but they're definitely... they can put up a big board. They're very hard to kind of out-muscle. So we'll see if the old support can kind of bolster the new support, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, well, you know what I'm on. I'm on Worms. That's not really a shocker. I don't know what you're on. It's going to be Wind of some description. So we'll see if it's on the Winged Beasts or if it's on the Wind Warriors. Let's fire on in and see what you got for me. Hey, we'll go first. Okay. So we have...
Yikes.
That's a good sound for me. Right, let's summon a new card. Demolition Soldier Toby Shock. This is half of a fusion, but he's also just a 1500 dude.
Okay.
We'll summon out another one. Then we're going to tribute them both and drop out our Demolition Dragon Blast Hummer. So if there is a card in your field zone, which, spoiler alert, there is not, you can send 2 cards from your hand to the graveyard, including a Worm monster. Destroy all face-up level 8 or lower monsters on your opponent's field. Then if it damages your opponent equals the number of monsters destroyed times 300, which is a maximum of 900, which is not a greatly huge number. I'm then going to set 2 and pass back to you.
Okay. Oh, that's it. Well. Harpy?
Okay, I think we've worked out as Harpies.
Set and set.
Ooh, okay.
Fuck.
My Constructor Sentry Dragline. Alright, well let's start out with a trade-in, because we do not need all of these big things in our hand. Where do we go from here? I suppose it's going to just be this. So I'll tribute 2 and summon out Build Dragon. So,
activate my Legend Trap. Icarus Attack.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think we'll be fine with that. We'll activate the Peaks of Blistopia. Then we will normal summon out Constructor Sentry Dragline. So we can activate its effect. I can shuffle 3 worm monsters from my graveyard into the deck, and I can special summon a level 8 worm monster from my graveyard, face it to my field. Then if I special summoned Bill Dragon with this effect, I can add a worm monster with 0 defense to my hand. So I will be... I'm selecting 3 to shuffle back for now. So we'll put that one, and that one. Return to the field, Bill Dragon. Then I will add one of these back to my hand for now. Next up, we can normal summon out Demolition Soldier Kasetsu Baiton. So I can pay 500 life points and then top my deck to the graveyard. Then if I sent a worm type monster to the graveyard with this effect, I can add a Demolition Soldier Helmet or a level 8 worm type monster from my graveyard to my hand. So I'll activate his effect. And then I guess I'll just add Blast Helmet back.
Get rid of this board.
Tribute. Summon. Set. Battle. See if we can't get in with Toby Shock and Blast Helmet. And that's exact lethal.
God damn.
There we go, the power of recycling. Let's see what happens game 2.
I'll go second.
Okay. This is one of the hands. Alright, we will begin with the Mighty Piccolon. We'll activate its effect. We will pitch Princess Pylon to grave. Oh, that's too risky. I'll set this. I'm just going to tribute 2 and summon out the Mighty Constructor Skyworm Gantry Dragon. Then we're going to set 2. Pass the turn.
Okay, well, he's glued to my hand.
Always smiling that game. Okay, the old Regina. Is R. This is... cannot be destroyed by monster effects. And do you have the equip spell is the question.
I'll summon out 2. I'll activate her effect.
Get a nice little mill.
Ability 3, might as well activate her effect.
Another nice little mill.
Can't attack with Gantry Dragon next turn.
That's pretty good. Now I basically need to draw something else big to actually do things. And then this can crash if it wants to. Oh no, it won't even crash against 500, not 400.
Regina.
Ooh.
Ultra Centerpiece.
Okay. This is tasty. We're losing 4,200 damage on top of the 100 from the Lady Arthur attack. Ooh, okay. Let's try it out. So I'm going to summon out the Katetsu Baiton again. We'll use his effect, pay the 500 and mill. Then we can add the Helmet from the graveyard back to our hand. Then we can normal summon out Toby Shock. And then tribute both to summon out Blast Humut. So I don't have a card in my field zone, so I can't use his effect.
Thank God.
But what I can do is normal summon out Helmet and then activate Fusion.
Ooh.
So I combine my 2 monsters together to create Demolition Charge Dragon Dangerous Blast Humut. So requirement none. I can set a face-up card on my field and 1 or 2 monsters in your opponent's field. Destroy them. Then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of cards sent times 500. It has to be face up, so I have to summon this. Then I suppose there's no reason to not activate his effect. We can shuffle 3 cards back into the deck, which is going to have to be this. No matter what I take here, it doesn't make a huge difference because I don't have a field spell. We'll throw these back. And then, just for funsies, let's get out Blast Hummer. Then we can activate his effect. And we can get rid of this, as well as this and this, because that one cannot be destroyed by monster effects.
Should have given right the whip spell.
yeah, in hindsight, would have saved you some life points. And then we'll pass.
Okay.
I'm ready for the maximum to hit the field. Although, again, it is a maximum, so getting it's kind of hard.
Normal summon Carla.
This
Fair effect.
Gets you your equip spell back from the grave.
Set this. Activate the full dress. Set this. Wing.
I don't like that you have that back row. We will activate Trade-In. And we'll discard our legend monster. Which is Phantasm Spiral Dragon, which is a worm. Because reasons.
29. Nice.
Now we have our field spell finally. We will... actually, I need to think about this. Okay, this is fine. We will... Yes, this is fine. We will set this. We'll set this. I'm going to tribute 2, and then walk into Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. Oh, Phoenix Wing Blast, that's a different kind entirely.
Icarus attack!
Okay. Dark Hole.
Ah, you bugger.
I could have Dark Hold first, but I thought, like, if it wasn't Icarus attack, this would be a much more interesting play, but I don't want to, like, throw away a legend if I didn't have to.
Okay. Again. 3.
Okay.
Pet Dragon.
Ooh, we are on Pet Dragon.
2. Activate her effect. Oh, that goes my Riser. Go to battle. Wing.
Ow.
Wing.
Aha, I couldn't activate traps on that attack, but I can on this one. Alright, can we draw a way out of this? Maybe, is the answer. We're gonna have to gamble. Let's go, Kentetsu Baiton. Let's pay 500 life. Okay, we're good. What do I get off this, though? So let's get back everyone's favorite. Then we'll summon this, tribute both, and bring back Gantry Dragon. Then use Gantry to bring back Bill Dragon. And then Bill Dragon brings back our new legend card.
God damn.
What back row can you have that messed me up? I know Wind Warriors have a really disgusting back row. I don't think Harpies do, so I'm just going to go to battle. If you've got something, you've got something.
No, I got nothing. GG.
Oh. I mean, yeah, especially that first game is a bit of a blowout. Do you want to get a game 3 since those are so quick?
Yep.
It'd be cool to see you get out the maximum. Although, I have to say, I've played against this deck, like, a decent-ish amount, and very rarely do the Harpies ever seem to actually summon that maximum.
Go second.
Drawn a very interesting hand. Behold. Pick along. We'll activate the effect. That's not the best draw in the world. We'll set, and set. Pass on that.
Okay. Well. Lady Do. Activate her effect.
Can activate traps in response to her attack. Oh, there's the good one. Lady 1.
Activate the spell strategy, get rid of that.
Fusion.
Yes. Set this. Well. Get out of this.
Okay. Chunk of damage. And goodbye to the third Picklon.
Picklon.
Alright, we'll start by normal summoning the Demolition Soldier Helmet. We'll activate Roar of the... or Primal Howling even. Put that to the bottom of your deck. I'll then activate Helmet and pitch the Princess Pylon to get fusion back. We'll then normal summon Kotetsu Bison. Is there a reason to mill? I guess. Getting a card in the graveyard's always useful. I can actually take that back now if I want. Do I want that in my hand? I don't actually know. No, I think it's fine to stay in there. And we'll tribute 2 and bring out Phantasm Spiral Dragon. Activate a little field spell. Set, go to battle, and I think... Weird as it sounds, I think I'm going to get rid of Harpy Lady 1. It's kind of a pain in the ass giving everyone a boost. Pass on that. Now you face Blue Eyes Light.
Egotist.
Okay. So you are only locked into not declaring attacks on 1200. Which basically means you're not locked into anything. Okay, so you can hit 29 at the moment.
Yeah, no, I can't get big enough. But, well, I guess I'll empty my hand as much as I can. Yeah, bloody field spell.
Everyone loves field spells. I suppose we will set and set. Then tribute 2 and summon out Blast Humut. Then I suppose I can show off this new card. So this is Demolition Shutter. So I equip it to a face-up worm-type monster on the field. While the monster is in attack position, it cannot be destroyed by battle. If a card in a field zone is if a card is in a field zone, the equipped monster and this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. So if I equip this to the Phantasm Spiral, then I cannot use him. That's fine. We'll go to battle phase here. We will get rid of this. And then we will get rid of this. And then we will pass.
Og.
Oh, he's back.
Lady. Ooh. Pet dragon.
Okay, so you can't kill Spiral Dragon, but you can currently clear Blast Hammer.
Go to battle.
Goodbye, my Blast Hammer.
And
alright, well, we can free this spot finally. Get rid of that. I can set this. Then I think we'll just go to battle here. We will attack over Harpy Lady 1 and then pass.
Okay. Oh, let's pop this out.
We've got a lot of attack points.
Yeah.
I can do this again. Whoop. And then set another card. Then I think we just have to go to battle phase again. Let's just attack one of these. And pass. Ooh, full dress.
Not enough.
I think that is just the game.
Yeah, Worm's too good again.
Yeah, they're very good at getting big attack monsters out. That's always kind of been their thing, especially with Peaks of Blistopia. Like, just getting an extra 400 attack is pretty nutty. I think the only one that comes close to that is the Aqua Field spell, which boosts theirs by 200 and weakens yours by 200, effectively being a 400 boost. But yeah, I think the main weakness of Harpies is they don't tend to have a lot of attack points to throw around. So, like, you know, your base is kind of 21, and then you're using a lot of different effects to make them bigger, like the Equip spell, like the Harpy Lady's middle piece, like the Harpy Lady 1, to kind of make everyone kind of big. The big problem with this card, Demolition Shutter, is that effectively to out the monster, you kind of have to destroy the field spell and then destroy the shutter, or destroy the field spell and then have an effect to destroy the monster, which is asking quite a lot from your opponent.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think if the worms get going, it's very difficult to out, just because, like I said, shutter is just kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. But generally, the deck feels a little bit inconsistent. But again, if you get it out, this shit's bonkers, right? And if you can set up your graveyard, especially, obviously you have that like Gantry Dragon play that we've had since Gantry Dragon came out. Oh, but yeah, GG, buddy.
GG.